It's all yours, gents. Take it away for draft number 2 of this upper bracket final.
I think they did a really good job of handling the Naga Siren. Generally, when people give EG Naga Siren, they sleep and then they just run away and they just completely reset. But they were actually really good about chasing after the song with the Ember Spirit, and sometimes they locked them in place with the Ice Shards. So I'm a little surprised to see them first ban it because they handled it.
But seems this game EG got Dire.
They took it.
And CDEC got first pick, so maybe they want to play with the Leshrac and they don't have to ban the Leshrac themselves, potentially. So let's see what they go with.
Yeah, and CDEC, once again, they don't want to get cheesed out by EG, so they're banning the Techie again, just respecting the power that the hero can force you to play a very different game. I think that's smart, going into such important games.
Also, I think they showcased the real value of Tusk, like the instant cast on Snowball with the defensive capabilities of being invulnerable during the duration, and using the choke point of the Ice Shards. I think that first Roshan fight, they actually lost because the Ice Shards forced them into this 2 different fights.
Beautiful 4 fields, would you say?
Bounty Hunter pickup straight away from CDEC this game.
Yeah, Garter plays a terrifying Bounty Hunter, so it's not just about how many kills you can find, it's about if you lose one team fight to Bounty Hunter, the gold swing is so massive that core items are going to be picked up for sure.
I feel like CDEC's idea of the game all originated from this one hero. You pick Bounty Hunter, it doesn't matter at what point in the game, you just keep going at them with the track, keep going. You're going to get some kills, and eventually, even if you can just get 1 kill with 5 heroes there, it's going to be all worth it for you. And that's where their style developed from. And now they're going to go back to that, and it's very good.
I got information that you guys are going to like probably, or like to know, is that CDEC actually picked first pick for that game. And EG response got Dire.
So it's CDEC's choice to go into the first pick. That's very curious. I'm not sure why they would do that.
10 seconds remaining.
Well,
the entire tournament on Dire.
I think going into these games, you really need to have some other plans up your sleeves. You can't just go into the game and just think that everything, whatever you've been running throughout the entire tournament will be enough. Because your opponent will prepare for you as much as you prepare for them. So maybe they have a different plan. And they do have some strong heroes. Bounty Lina is very potent. I think this combo is probably top 3 of what 2 heroes you can get together.
Yeah, it's one of the most common 2 combo heroes that we see in the first phase as well, here at the main event for sure. But Darkseer also has shown a lot of strength in many different teams. In Universe, definitely one of the top Darkseer players out there.
Yeah. I believe last game the Darkseer wasn't actually touched at all, and this game EG have decided to go with the DS first pick. DS Spirit Breaker is very strong. We saw PPD play Spirit Breaker in the last 2 games against eHome, and it actually provides a lot, especially with the vision that it grants from just clicking charge on one hero, and they already have to start playing differently. They need to TP away or go back, and already your momentum of the game is diminishing.
Yeah, Storm being banned out by CDEC this time, so EG banning it last time in the second phase, now CDEC doing it. I think both of these teams just realize how big of an impact that can be for your initiation and the mid-game.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I think CDC sort of has an advantage right now because they got this Lina in the first phase. Evo Genius, since they don't have the first pick, it means that they can't ban out the Lina. They had to ban out this Leshrac. They don't want CDC to have. Which means CDC is just going to ban out all of Sumail's heroes. EG don't really have any specific bans because I feel like whatever they ban, it can be replaced right now. These first 2 heroes were so good.
Probably. They're probably going to target down the carry position, I suppose, with their bans, but as you say, it's still interchangeable. There are many different heroes that fit the style. Anytime I see a Darkseer picked early, there's always Anti-Mage coming to mind as well.
Yeah.
But aggressive, he can play PL just the same, or any other hero, really.
So how do you deal with the Spirit Breaker as a Bounty Hunter? Because we've seen this combo picked up by EG a couple of times.
I think the Bounty Hunter just needs to do something early game. From the replays I've seen of CDEC, they tend to put the bounty hunter in the safe lane, whereas normal bounty hunters would go around mid, you know, try to snipe couriers and things like that. But when you put him in the safe lane and support the other hero instead of the other support, now you're freeing up your secondary support to do whatever you want, where your opponent is like placing sentries mid and moves like that, which means that the Spear Breaker won't have like a very big impact early game against this BH if you like switch it up a little bit. But it is a very hard game for Bounty, typically, when he plays against the Spear Breaker.
So we've seen Sumail play a wide range of heroes. Looks like TA I'd probably be eyeing to ban out right now, TA or Wind Ranger, but going with the Winter Wyvern. Oh, we just talked about Dire plus TA, right? Isn't that something that they should be scared of?
It's always good to have a TA on your side when you're Dire. I mean, any hero that makes your, like when you go for Roshan and then it's just really fast, puts a lot of pressure on the opponent, and you can just, you know, pressure the lanes, play around the map. You know that they have something to worry about that you don't. So you just have an edge generally. But it feels like EG are going to go for a more fighting-oriented lineup. The last game they sort of had a fighting lineup, but they had long cooldowns. Whereas CDEC, they just, like the way CDEC played last game, they were just kiting, and just waiting for EG to use their big spells, and then, you know, re-engaging again the fight. And EG just couldn't handle those type of fights. They had to, you know, go. I felt like EG had the mistakes. They could make mistakes, whereas CDEC couldn't really. It was an easier lineup to play. Yeah, I think that EG are gonna pick really tanky and strong heroes in general throughout this game, and that as a counter to the Bounty Hunter. I'm still super excited to see how they're going to counter the Bounty Hunter, because Garter is 81% win rate on this hero, and CDEC executed really well as a team. So to see EG, who never lost the Bounty, go up against it, this is quite something. I feel like if you want to play versus CDEC, either you don't fight, or like you have another plan, or you need to be ready to fight at any time, because they're very good at choosing when to take the fights. As you said earlier, they're very fast with the way they play. They're going to smoke and go for fights when you're not ready. And having a fighting lineup that can join the fight quite fast, you're not relying on really big cooldown spells, then I think it's going to be a better approach for EG. And that's where they're going right now. Like they have a lot of fighting potential with this lineup. Yeah, this Phantom Lancer is really going to be troublesome to deal with. So far, they have the Queen of Pain damage and the Vacuum AoE, but they need to stack up some AoE disable or even just more damage on EG right now, I feel. They could, of course, go into the Anti-Mage if they want, but Lina is such a hard hero to play against when she gets Aghanims.
Yeah, both Lina and Phantom Lancer tend to do quite well against the Anti-Mage. And when you play with Anti-Mage, you want to have this one hero that you're looking out for to mana void in fights. And Lina could potentially be that, but at the same time, it goes both ways with the Aghanims Laguna Blade. And another Razor pick. Okay, this is very surprising because I think Phantom Lancer does really well against Razor. But maybe Evil Genius don't really have another carry that they would rather have in this situation anyway.
What this tells me is like Razor, they want some strong hero that independently can lane without needing so much lane support. If you look at EG, they're trying to have 3 really strong cores and then have the choice to be mobile with the Spear Breaker +1.
Yeah, what Razor does is when CDEC tries to run at you with 5 heroes, he's the one hero that can really fight well. He's got this very short cooldown, high damage spell that will help Evil Geniuses a lot. Especially when you combo it up with the Darkseer, Vacuum, and Queen of Pain.
10 seconds remaining.
What do you think that CDEC want as their last hero here, like, to combine into this? So far it's a very strong fighting lineup. Even Phantom Lancer is a strong fighting carry. I'm not quite sure what they want to grab. I'm gonna assume it's Shiki Lina, because that's how they have run it before. There's no reason to put him on any other position.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I think the Lina versus Quad matchup is very favorable for the Lina. So I'm thinking perhaps a Witch Doctor. It's probably Q's hero.
Earthshaker.
Earthshaker.
Oh, they ban it out.
I think they might want a stronger support than that. they probably want the Witch Doctor just so he can like heal up the PL and they can farm against the Darkseer quite well. They need aggressive to have a decent early game so that he can actually move around when the time comes.
I'm not sure
for him to fight.
if EG plays Rubik so much, but I think it's a very good Rubik game so far for them. Like there are a lot of good spells to steal. It's gonna give them a bit more initiation. I'm not sure if AY actually plays the hero.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever played this hero.
So you suggest a hero that deals better with Darkseer in lane?
Yeah, a support hero that'll deal better. Because you want this PL to have a decent game.
Right.
Every game CDEC have played, they've had the safe lane do really well.
Oh, the PPD hero.
This is interesting. They don't have much against armor at all actually.
EG's
they have
laning
nothing so far.
Yeah, EG's laning is super strong. Look at their heroes. All of them are strong lane dominators in a way. And then you have Spirit Breaker and Treant just messing with them as well. So CDEC's last hero, I think you're completely on the right track there. They need a Witch Doctor or something.
And Treant is a hero that, like, it's very good synergy with Darkseer, and it's a hero EG used already against Bounty Hunter. It was, I can't remember which tournament it was probably, might have been DAC in the finals versus Witchy Gaming, and their answer to Bounty roaming was actually Treant Protector, and the Bounty could just, he got nothing. Like, he couldn't get any kills.
Eighth pick of TI5, first time at the main event, and PBD's played it 3 times, winning twice at TI5.
But when you think so much about Bounty Hunter, you're like forgetting about the other heroes. CDEC have a lot of fast-moving heroes. If EG don't like build the tables onto their heroes, it's gonna be a hard game nonetheless, even if you're playing with Darkseer Treant.
Okay, final pick is locked in. Both teams have their heroes. And talking of heroes, we're gonna head back to the event arena with our commentary team.
Indeed, thank you very much. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the second game of this series, Evil Geniuses versus CDEC. CDEC, of course, 1 game away from making it to the grand finals of TI5. Obviously, the big question is, being shifted now onto the Radiant side, how much of this is an impact for CDEC, a team that are used to playing on the Dire for the entirety of the main event so far?
It's hard to say because we haven't seen it, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
we don't know what to come from this. I mean, the lineups from both sides. Do you feel that have EG gone for something drastically different than what they did in game 1 here?
Yeah, this is a classic EG solution for Bounty Hunter. So I think Matt is thinking back a little bit too far when he says this is how EG dealt with a Bounty Hunter at DAC. They might have done it, but they did it in the group stage of this event. Vici Gaming were playing a Bounty Hunter on FY, and he had like 0 game impact. I think he didn't even get an assist that game. Maybe he got 1. And in total, EG, I think, died 3 times that game. So their approach to dealing with Bounty Hunter is they take tanky or elusive cores, and then they couple them with Treant. There's no lane for Bounty Hunter to gank. You can't kill Quap, she just blinks. You can't go on the Darkseer, he's innately tanky and gets living armor. Spirit Breaker is a tanky support, you can't do that either. Then they pick the Razor, another tanky hero, and they just farm up key items and try to limit the number of track kills the enemy team can get. The moment Bounty Hunter doesn't find any ganks early, his level 6 gets delayed, and then when he finally gets it, EG will usually have all the key items they need to just out-tank the opponent in teamfights in the mid-game. So I like their draft a lot. That said, though, CDEC with extreme comfort picks for them, I guess the slightly out of the ordinary for them is the Witch Doctor that I think we haven't seen them play that much to my memory, but it is one of Q's best heroes, so they're still feeling comfortable, I think.
Well, let's see how this one pans out. Of course, EG, they need to win this game if they want to avoid being knocked down to the lower bracket by CDEC. I mean, game 1, both teams playing very, very high-level Dota 2, but at the end of the day, it was just a kind of a few key decisions that EG kind of messed up on, and the CDC was straight in through the open door and were able to capitalize on it and find the win.
Looks like this time around it's going to just be no fighting for the room.
The battle begins.
Top room's going to go to Samel, and bottom room's going to go to Shiki. And this is going to be an interesting mid matchup because usually what we've seen in this tournament is that when you put Lina against Queen of Pain, it's slightly Lina favored, and Bounty Hunter will want to rotate. But oh, okay, that's a really good start for CDC actually removing that obscure ward. He doesn't tango the sentry. He plays it safe here, and that's actually going to allow PPD to take that one out. But this mid lane has a little bit of a difference compared to what we usually see. There's the living armor factor, which often decides mid lanes. Samel can play a lot more aggressively because Shiki on Lina does not have any multi-damage instance abilities. That means the living armor will be hard to get off.
Bottom lane, going in a bit aggressive here onto Aoi. Aoi dropping now down to half health. Needs to be careful here. Living armor will save him for the time being. The Maledict, it might just be enough here. Yes, it is. Q with the first blood. CDEC there with the tri-lane. Very nicely securing the kill onto SB.
Perfect ice shards. AY was in a horrible position, and actually, I think starting out by skilling Greater Bash in this lane where you're playing a 2-on-3, I think it's a little bit too aggressive. You have to play it safer and have charge, and then try to focus on the other lanes, maybe ganking Shiki with living armor. You could go for some really aggressive plays. I know, you want to put pressure if you can, but the risk reward here not really favoring the Spirit Breaker, who would have probably lived with a Stout Shield, by the way. He does not have that just yet on the support role. And he's doing a very, very long walk down to this bottom lane. They might just put Universe jungle. He doesn't have a single point of experience either. This off lane for EG is starting out horribly.
We'll see what they'll be able to find. Their mid lane at the moment, Sumail versus Shiki, 6 for 4 against a 3 for 3. So Sumail actually doing all right in this matchup that, I mean, indeed as the analyst was saying, would not necessarily favour the co-op in the early stages, but Sumail at the moment playing it very nicely. Top lane, pressure coming in from Fear. He's starting to get some damage onto the tower with a static link onto XZ. Just taking 14, but that's going to help Fear continue to farm here and slowly apply pressure on this lane. Not a lot that the bounty can do to slow down that push at this point.
But he's going to get a lot of levels, and this might have been CDEC. So wait, so who had the overall last pick? It was CDEC, right? After the Treant. They might have changed their game plan because they realized, okay, when there's a Treant on the enemy team, the chance our bounty hunter can roam and kill early is really minimal. So instead, we're going to accelerate the rate at which we get track a hell of a lot by playing it in the off lane and just getting another support, which they got in the Witch Doctor. I do believe that was the draft order.
Yeah, that was right. Yeah, Witch Doctor was the final pick indeed from CDEC. Mid lane just continuing to trade hits between the two of them, Sumail and Shiki. Now evening off there in terms of CS. And bottom lane as well, PL, finding a lot of room, 13 for 8. The fact that, of course, we saw Darkseer leave for the jungles made that lane a little bit easier, as it is just the Spirit Breaker holding up the off lane. So, I mean, both off laners are going to find this solo XP. And PPD just hanging around here, making sure that nothing happens against Fear on his Razor. Of course, we saw Fear on the Razor in the first game, getting a lot of pressure mid lane. Shiki looking for the light strike, he's going to miss Sumail, manning up. Will be able to blink out just at the last moment, as Tusk did move in as well. So Sumail's got to be careful here. Bottle is on his way out, and couldn't have come at a better time here. Sumail is going to need that to regen himself back.
Yeah, Shiki gets his as well, though, so this is pretty much dead even in the mid lane right now.
Bottom lane, Aoi going forward onto aggressive, but Q's there gets the Maledict off. Now with the doppelganger forward as well. Aoi's going to tick down fairly low here. It won't quite pop. But again, just harassing back this Spirit Breaker, and now we're starting to see, I'd imagine, quite a big level deficiency between him and the Bounty. Yeah, he's level 2, Bounty Hunter's level 4.
There is the jungle factor, though. If CDEC don't press much.
Fear maintains the static link here now with the Leech Seed going forward onto XZ. XZ trying to get himself out of this. The Plasma Field will do it, though. Fear gets himself a kill there.
And it's really interesting to see PPD's skill build in this game, going for 2 points in the Leech Seed. Probably with that exact purpose in mind, getting the kill on the safe lane. I think like 90% of Treant games right now we see getting 1 point in Leech Seed, you max living armor and you max Nature's Guise, and you like become a walking scouting support. At this time, more of an aggressive approach from him to secure that kill.
Aoi moving forward, just going to be able to scout out Garda here on the sidelines. Lane continuing to even out in the mid between the Co-op and the Lina. 18-6, 16-6. And bottom lane though, PL finding a lot of fun. 28 last hit, 17 denies at the moment. And we can certainly see why SB is missing out on a lot of that XP. Now we just finding in the sidelines. As Tusk was looking for him. Now he's just going to be able to soak up the levels. And looks like Darkseer heading back to base. How's Universe doing in terms of the jungle Darkseer? Let's have a look. He's managed to find himself level 4. He's got himself the Soul Ring as well, so Universe will be able to continue to farm quite reliably 5 minutes in. And this ping's coming out, they've realised that SB's hiding there. Witch Doctor rotating towards the mid lane. Shiki now closing in on that level 6. At the same time, Sumail will hear it as well, so Sonic Wave is now available if he wishes to try and go for a kill, but it's actually Shiki that's got the backup as XZ is moving towards the mid lane. Sumail's got to be a bit careful here. And looks like XZ's going to look for the wraparound. Sumail needs to be careful with the Tusk initiation, but Really should be fine unless they can get the chain stun out onto the co-op. It's going to be quite hard for CDEC to find this kill. Next, he's just going to be able to sap some of this XP from Universe as he spots out the Darks here. And he's looking for the Courier Snipe here, Axie. Moving in between the towers. Are EG going to be on top of this? Oh, it's got the bottle on. It's got the bottle on. This is big if XZ can get it. A second hit will do it. That's the bottle down. XZ there. With what feels like the first Bounty Hunter successful Courier Snipe we've seen in a while, because a lot of the times the teams are able to avoid it, but EG just getting caught off guard there, and that's a big win there for the mid lane.
This is way less predictable than your classic 2-minute, the bottle is flying out Courier Snipe from support Bounty Hunter. This is an offlane bounty going off the map at level 5. However, you know, if Universe was playing very close attention, he could have called that he didn't get full experience there, and that could have told them where the bounty was, and then maybe Sumail placed that one differently, but it's very difficult to see that one coming from XZ, and he realizes that, that's why he goes for it. Big play.
Yeah, I guess the saving grace, of course, the fact that they do have PPD, of course, on that Treant, so the Living Armor will be there to help out Sumail here in the mid lane. Shiki backing up, just clearing up these creep camps as well as he reaches level 7, still has that Laguna Blade ready to go if he catches anyone out like Sumail. Top lane Tusk, just starting to soak up the solo XP, trying to make his way towards that level 6 here, Garda. Get that Warrior's Punch online, but 7 minutes in, just 1-1. Again, a pretty passive early stage between these two teams, as no one really looking to go too aggressive. And Universe actually going to come down here. Aui's still hiding in the trees, has found a fair bit of XP. And we're actually going to lose Witch Doctor. Here's Roos is looking for the XP in the mid lane, but Sumail finds himself a solo kill there with the Sonic Wave.
It's really important for EG to find kills because they're actually getting out-farmed very much. They've drafted this lineup that's difficult for the bounty to gank, and CDEC have just shifted their lanes, just put bounty off lane. They're free-farming the PL safe lane. Their mid lane Lina is doing fine as well, actually completely out-farming Sumail. They were going toe-to-toe, and Shiki just took over. He's got 50 CS to the 33 of Sumail, so very rarely do we see him losing on farm. I'm not sure how many creeps Lina found in the jungle. I think some of them were a stack.
And of course, worth noting for CDEC the fact that they did have XZ on this offlane bounty. Now with that track online at a very early time, just 8 minutes in, he's going to be able to start getting out across the map. Fizz actually moved down here to the bottom lane. Here's level 7. And he has also got 2 of the members of EG nearby, both Aoi and Universe here on the bottom lane. Sumail continuing to farm mid, but the net worth, as we can see individually, favouring the side of CDEC. It is aggressive here at the top of the farm board, so CDEC having a much stronger time in lane than they did in game 1. And we saw, of course, even off the back of that, CDEC are able to take that game. So EG, they've got a few things to worry about at this point early on, 8.5 minutes in.
Yeah, they're rotating down Fear just to challenge aggressive. They realize they can't just let him free farm forever. He got 8 minutes of free farm, which I think is more than he probably should have in this game. They need to solve that problem. So PPD now hits level 6, by the way. Very early level 6 on Treant, so that's the good news for EG. PPD not usually hitting that until 2-digit minutes. Radiant structures rather being fortified in the middle lane. Sumail is looking to just keep putting on the pressure here. As long as Lina is off the lane, he rules that mid lane easily. And Shiki has, of course, shown himself in the top. Living Armor is keeping the tower safe easily as well.
And with the backup of, well, 3 of them up here, CDC may very well look to push down that tier 1. Bottom lane, Fear just getting forced back as Aggressive has returned to the lane. Fear's on his own now. Just going to look to spam out the wave and the illusions. And mid lane, Sumail just continuing to apply this pressure. Going to see XZ wrap around towards the mid. Those arcanes now complete. Getting those tracks out. And it is in fact Aoi here, hanging between the tier 1 and the tier 2, maybe looking to see if he can find a charge. He has got Dust here, if he feels that there's going to be the opening to go on to XZ when XZ reveals himself. And Q still hasn't yet found his level 6 in the Death Ward, only a couple more creeps and he will have that ultimate online. Same story here with Garda, not quite got the level 6, but there's going to be an Invis Rune top. Looks like they'll let it go into the bottle of Shiki here as he moves in. And he's still got this Laguna Blade. We're yet to see Shiki be able to find a pick off here with the ultimate. And Aui's still just hanging around in the tree line here. Just waiting for an opening of some sort. They're actually going to smoke up, but straight away, Aoi does dispel it here. They know he's there. He's just going to charge out. Realizes that CDEC are going to be onto him. And gets himself out of there.
And this puts Aggressive in a really problematic situation. It's going to force a TP here as well.
Wow, he's going in now. The doppelganger to avoid the charge. Shiki's TP'd in. He's going to look for the Laguna. Will find it. Aui's going to go down. And now CDEC with a bit to find more snowball forward. Universe surging himself away, but the Ice Shard still trap him in. They go. PPD's turned into the fight though. They're trying to turn it. Pig getting the paralyzing cask onto him. Shuriken bouncing between them all, and they'll lose the tusk. So they finally kill him in turn. Death Ward's been laid down. Now EG on the retreat. Tracks are going out. Fear surged away. There'll be the blink out from Sumail. They're still tracked up. Can they move in onto the Shiki? Looking for a stun. Oh, he's going to find it. Oh, catches the male. And they will find the Queen again. CDEC reacting very nicely there to the aggression of EG. And aggressive. Stays alive throughout it all. Very nicely played there by the Radiant.
I'm very surprised AUI chose to go through with that charge. They must have realized that after that smoke broke and he is getting in behind the tower on a PL, CDEC are going to go for defensive TPs, and he just got into a really awkward situation where he dies immediately. And he is very important for the team fight. Even though he's not level 6, he's supposed to tank up damage while his allies are nearby. So in turn, they can deal damage back. And he just actually died doing more or less nothing. He forced out a doppelganger, and that was it. And Sumail was never using the Sonic Wave there. CDEC did a good job spreading out. Sumail wanted to go for it, but never really had a good line or a good kill there. And he gets tracked and can't really play around in the jungle.
Indeed, the track goal favouring the side of CDEC off the back of those fights as well. EG have to be very careful about these skirmishes that they take. Now grouping up. Sumail with the Sonic Wave. He'd love to find some kind of pick-off. And pings are coming out to the top lane, but Tusk, he's already TP'd out there. Heads towards the mid. There's this observer here, so Sumail does see the Witch Doctor head up to the high ground. Also, the Sentry, I believe, did catch out Exi here on the Bounty Hunter. They're going to head up. Exi is actually moving down towards them. There's a Sentry on the river, so he needs to be careful where he goes. And Exi's going to walk straight under it. Aoi going in with the dust. They should be able to find the kill. Sonic Wave comes out, they'll get it. Now they're trying to look for the return, though. CDEC going in with the snowball and the punch onto PPD, gets the overgrowth off. Now the Death Ward laid down, they'll find PPD. Aoi with the charge to Shiki. Shiki gets the Laguna off onto Sumail. Now CDEC off the back. Aoi trying to find the bashes, he'll get it. The Ice Shards come out. Aoi's going to go for it. The wall's been dropped. Q's still alive, finally goes down there to the Illusions. And it isn't just a 2 for 2, but the fact that Sumail gets himself a double kill. They're trying to go for more here, EG. Oh, looks like they're going to change their mind. Don't want to dive too deep. But again, just a flat-out 2 for 2 trade here between the sides. Again, proving to be a very even game, just slightly favouring the side of EG that fight. And, well, 13 minutes in. Again, we're seeing a very, very close game of Dota. Queen of Pain now with 1700 gold. I mean, what does Sumail go for first in this game? Does he go straight for the Yules, the Axe, or what's he picked up now? Is that the Staff? That's the point.
Like an axe.
Straight up Axe. Okay.
But more importantly right now for Sumail, he needs to hit these screams. I think we've had 2 fights in a row now for EG where he's missing scream on key targets. That fight could have been way better if he got the scream on the... He hit 1 target instead of 2, and you could see he was walking in to try to get both, and he was just outranged by one of them. The fight is completely different, because that would have been a way swifter kill, and maybe they could have come out ahead. And the same happened on the bottom lane where he tried to get a scream into Sonic Wave and the scream didn't reach, and then he didn't use the Sonic Wave either. It's just, and we're talking like 10 or 15 range is how little he's missing it by. But it doesn't matter if you miss it by 200 or 10 range, it's still a miss. They have to land. They need all the damage they can do right now because CDEC are taking the fight to them. And EG have drafted a lineup that don't have very much burst damage, so Sumail's has to come in, because the rest of the heroes are doing damage over time more than anything. Apart from maybe a perfect plasma field from Fear. They're more reliant on Ion Shell to get the damage done.
And talking about the Darkseid universe now has the mech complete. We're seeing Yules being picked up from Shiki on this Lina, and she's also level 11 here as well. So we've got that extra bit of burst here. With that Laguna, if they can catch someone out. Drum's now done on Fear. 15 minutes in, still a very close game between these two sides, and still a very tense one as well. This game meaning a lot for both of these teams, so understandably both playing it very, very careful at this point, not wanting to give anything away across the map.
It's more understandable for CDEC. to play it carefully, because they know they have
Dire's bottom tower
such a good late gamer in PL, and they know he's getting a lot of harm.
Oh, Snowball on the top lane. TP's coming in from CDEC as well. They want to try and fight this PPD. He's going to get caught out here by the Ice Shards. The Shuriken coming out as well. And now with the Light Strike. Oh, beautifully catching two. Lagoon onto PPT. Now with the Death Fort. But it's actually Sumail that's turned up with the Sonic Wave. Will find the kill onto Witch Doctor. Now aggressive with the TP up. He wants to join the fight. Moving in onto Fear the Shuriken as well. Fear is still alive. He will. There's the illusion. Yeah, the Paladin gets him in the end. Now the Yule's holding Sumail in place. They're going to look for a forfeit. Will be able to get his blink out, but now it's Owie. There's going to be the attention of CDEC coming in onto him, and they'll get it as well. 4 heroes down on EG. CDEC only losing the Witch Doctor. The TP's come out. The track gold as well. A huge gold swing off the back of that one. CDEC again reacting incredibly nicely to the plays and the coming out from EG. And they're going to get a tier 1 off the back of this as well, Sin.
They just got a full mech on Bounty from that fight, I think. He has the Arcane Boots and 1500 gold and a headdress, so when this goes down, that's going to make the EG fight so much harder. You should most definitely be buying that up right now. They get a tower, Aggressive doesn't die, he gets kills and assists. And in my opinion, EG's lineup does not counter PL at all in the late game. Like, they have Sonic Wave, that's it. So this is very worrying. If they can't avoid these Bounty Hunter track kills from coming out in the early game, which was the sole purpose of their draft, of course anticipating him in a support position, if that doesn't work, then their mid-late game strategy, I think, will just not work either.
I think you pretty much spelled it out with the fact that the PL Aggressive is able to find himself in all of these, well, 5 of the kills so far. Yeah, the track god as well, really racking up for the PL, and he's going to be able to start building towards his next item, potentially the Diffusal Blade. On top of the bots, the drums, and the Achilles, looking incredibly rich. 8,000 net worth on him at the moment. A good, well, pretty much 3,000 ahead of Fear's Razor, just 17 minutes in after that fight. CDEC just backing up, as they're going to let Aggressive return to farming on this bottom lane. Fear will clear out this Ancient stack here on the Razor. Trying to get himself back into this game, but it's, again, definitely CDEC with the stronger position at the moment. 1,500 now on your PL. I mean, does he go straight for the Diffusal here, or are we looking at just the Asher to continue to help him farm?
I think he gets Diffusal. It's the standard build from Aggressive, and it's extremely good against Darkseer. You can remove Surge. He will be able to purge Overgrowth as well, if he's interested in that. It just maximizes his fighting output, and they want to fight, I think. Even though they could sit back and farm a bit, they have the Bounty Hunter and they're looking for trades whenever possible. And because of these Boots of Travel from Aggressive, he can just farm at the same time, and Diffusal isn't a bad farming item either. So the stats on it are pretty good, and he is indeed going to buy it. He almost has it now while farming the jungle. EG are really, really scared of moving across the river, so they could be caught at any point in time. And that just means Aggressive farms his own jungle for free.
Understandably so as well. Aggressive now just a few hundred gold away from that completed Diffusal Blade. 18 minutes in as well. This PL is incredibly stacked for this point of the game. This is a real issue for the side of EG. Sumail has nearly got his Aghanims complete though on the Queen of Pain. It's just a couple of hundred and he'll have that done. Shiki himself on the Lina after the Yules. About halfway on the road to his. PPD just hiding here. It's going to be fine though. We'll just get the invis out in time before they pass by. Well, the thing is actually coming out. They know that PPD's about, and the dust won't quite catch PPD. Just out of range. But it's definitely worth guarded trying to go for that one. Now spot out Fear here. We'll lay down the track. PPD's actually coming around the back as well. He does have an Overgrowth, but there's no tier 1 for the side of EG to TP into. So it's going to be very hard for EG to fight into CDEC whilst they've got 4 heroes down here. And that's your Diffusal now, picked up by Aggressive, so we've already seen how much he wants to fight. He's going to want to do so even more now. So now just blinking himself away as a TP does come in from the Lina. He needs to be very careful that he doesn't get himself caught out by the Yule Scepter, because at this point, if Queen gets caught out by the Yule's Light Strike, there's not lots that Sumail can do to stay alive after that. That huge amount of burst damage that's going to come out from the lineup of CDEC.
What do we got coming for EG? So it looks like Fear is working on a BKB, I would guess. It's either a BKB or an Axe with this Ogre Club. He might just be keeping his options open. The Darkseer, 50 gold away from Blink. I think that's a go call, honestly. You have to try to find a big team fight now with a Blink into Sonic Wave and Scream, because if they just sit back and let CDEC farm, they should know right now that they're...
Oh, there's going to be the TP in from Aggressive. He's coming as the tier 1. He knows that they want to fight here. Shiki moving in will find the Yules onto Aoi here. They're going to set this up for the stun. Aoi is going to try and TP ways it up, charge away. He's not even going to get the chance to do so now with the War's put on Easy Fear. They're going to look for more Laguna Blade as well. Razor dropping low. We'll get the mech off. The wall's been dropped, but it doesn't matter. Fear's going to go down. The Universe is going to look to surge himself away, but Aggressive and Q2 acing him down with the Diffusal Blade. Sonic Wave comes out, but it doesn't matter. Universe to fall. PPG just having to get himself out of there with Sumail. The track onto Sumail. They're going to continue to chase this down. They've got the vision of the PPD here with the track out as well. PPD in trouble. They'll get themselves a 4th kill. Sumail, the only last man standing there for each... Is that it? That's it! 20 minutes in, CDEC. They're into the grand finals. They've done it. They've knocked down EG to the lower bracket and CDEC. What a series. What a winner bracket final for them. Absolute textbook performance from them.
And I can I can understand they're calling the GG there. Yes. PPD had a game plan in mind. It didn't work out. The entire